Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David, and that's Little Lemonhead. Hey, how's it going, folks? Um, it's Sunday. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. I hope you're all having a good day. We're T-minus 2 days away from Taco Tuesday. We're also 2 days away from Trump's deadline with Iran. They better come to the table. Um, there was an article. I'm going to do two different readings today. There was an article that Trump said he purposely wanted to sound unhinged and deranged in his text message, his True Social posts to Iran. That way, Iran would be so scared that they would go to the negotiating table. He wanted to give off the perception that he was mentally deranged. Donald, you don't have to try too hard to come off as mentally deranged, at least not for the folks that watch this channel. So it's one of those I meant to do it type of things. It's just like, you have got to be kidding me. Is it possible? I suppose it's possible, but we'll take a look at the cards to see what the cards say and what my interpretation is on that. The other thing I want to read on is Kash Patel, my favorite FBI director of all time. At least that's what Dave tells me. So good old Cash. There was an article that came out on Friday, based on what I was reading in the Atlantic, that has basically said Kash Patel basically is several times drunk to the point of intoxication, visible intoxication. And it's a well-known. It's well known about his drinking in D.C. and also that the Trump administration is basically openly talking about replacing Kash Patel. And in the article, there was like Kash Patel had come across some sort of technical glitch on his computer and absolutely had a freak out because he thought that was the first sign that they were pulling the plug on his tenure as FBI director. And he was making panic calls to political allies and friends, trying to find out what was going on. So I guess Kash Patel's kind of on some thin ice there too. So maybe he's the next to go. Anyway, so let's start with Donald Trump. Donald said, "I meant to do that. I meant to sound crazy and unhinged. That way we'd get Iran to come to the negotiating table." So my Trump isn't as good as David's. Mine sounds like a mix between Roz from Monsters Inc. and a really a Donald Trump that's got a head cold, I guess. So let's take a look at what was going on with Donald Trump. Whenever he gets called out for something, where he's posted something that was inappropriate, it's like, I was just joking. That was sarcasm. I didn't say that. I said it sarcastically. And it's like, no, sarcasm is different than what you were doing. So he is so worried about how he's perceived. And I kind of have a hunch it's more trying to create that spin that he meant to do it. So let's take a look. Entertainment purposes only. Was Trump really pretending to be unhinged, or was it just Trump acting normal, as his normal is? Start with the fool. Fooled you! Okay, just fooling. I'm not really going over the edge. I was just pretending. What's the challenge? Okay, yeah. So it's the foolish behavior is basically it's a progressive situation with his mental state. He's kind of living in his own little world. You know, looking up instead of looking down and looking forward. And this is something that's just going to keep progressing. Did he do it on purpose? Hard to say with these two cards, but it doesn't matter because the mental health struggles that he has are progressing, and you're going to see more of this. I'm just waiting for that Three of Swords to come up. The energy underneath is the sun. Yeah, no, it's pretty apparent what's going on to us. Uh, he once again he's trying to spin it, but the rest of us are just like, dude, you've been going down the crazy train for years, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. You're not. I don't think that this is some fifth feet, 5D level chess. This is just you getting mad because you're not getting what you want, and you feel the only way to get there is to put ultimatums out there. And Iran's already said that the U.S. is blowing up these peace talks because they keep throwing ultimatums at Iran instead of negotiations. In the past, you had the Two of Wands, actions that you've taken that are going to impact the future. Current energy is the Six of Pentacles. So was he making it up? In the past he could have taken actions that were making it up. I think this is more, he has taken actions that affected the world, and now he's trying to give his base something back. Trust in me, because give him a little bit of money, so that they keep trusting him. Or it's, I did this crazy behavior so I could get all the big things of wealth and just give back a little to Iran. I'm going to keep going. So is the crazy talk done on purpose, or is it part of his mental health degradation? Overarching energy is the Empress. He needs to take better care of himself. I think what this is the doctors and the poetic justice. The pills that they're able to give him, the medicines they're able to give him, they're not reaping the rewards that they used to get. That's what I'm getting out of this. And it's a situation where he needs to take better care of his mental health because it's going away. The lesson to be learned, the Six of Swords. This is, I suppose you could read it as this brings, Iran back to the negotiating table. But to me, it's just like, no, his mind is gone, and his best days are behind him. He's starting to transition and move on. Yeah, and we ended up with the Hermit. Outcome is the Hermit. He's losing himself in his own mind. Okay, so did he do it on purpose? He did not do this as a bluff. Or let me rephrase that. He did not act loony and unhinged as a bluff. He is loony and he is unhinged. The bluff may be he might not be willing to do what it takes to follow through on his ultimatums. But, with the Hermit card at the end, he's kind of lost in his own mind. This is not, it's a mental health issue. Full stop, right? It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And it's only a matter of time. As the stresses of this ill-advised war with Iran start to build more and more and more, it's just a matter of time before, something snaps in there. All right. Let's just take a quick look at Tuesday. How are things looking for Tuesday? I think the last... I kind of did that reading that came out today. Basically, the last time I looked at it was the negotiations. They're not going to... I don't think they're going to really come to anything concrete on Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday there'll be enough to keep the negotiations moving forward, but no resolution. Trump is desperate to not actually put boots on the ground. He wants to avoid the 1979 debacle where Carter sent in the helicopters to try and rescue the hostages, and that just became a big shit show. And in Trump's mind, that cost Carter the presidential election. So he was absolutely freaking out when those two pilots that got shot down, and the U.S. hadn't recovered him yet. I was reading an article where they basically had to kick him out of the briefing room because he was going on an hours long tirade. And it wasn't for the safety of the pilots, it was because if the Iranians captured the pilots, that would be the end of his presidency. Right? Now that's on brand. Because my first thought is, wow, he actually gives a shit about the troops. No, it's because when Carter failed to get the hostages out and the helicopter crashes that they had when they were trying the rescue attempt, he felt that that sunk Carter's presidency, and he doesn't want the same thing happening to him. I guess he should have thought about that before he hit the launch button on the missiles, right? All right, so let's take a look at Kash Patel. I'm done with Donald. Good old Kash, drinking, and drinking, and they're reporting on it, and now he's threatening to sue. So let's take a look at the energy around Kash Patel. Does he really have a drinking problem? And what do we need to know? Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is all about keeping your emotions under control, keeping things hidden. The challenge is the Emperor does not like people who get drunk. He lost a brother due to complications from alcoholism. Energy underneath that is the Star. Trump is, once again, he's very concerned about appearances. And if Kash Patel's going out there and hitting the bottle and getting intoxicated, he's not going to be happy because it looks bad on Trump's administration. In the past, you got the Six of Pentacles. You know, I gave you this job because you're a loyal Trump supporter. You know, current energy is the Fool. And you're helping this administration walk off a cliff. Maybe Kash Patel was the one who told Trump to type that message to Iran on True Social, right? Current energy is the Fool. The Fool's a new journey. It could also be going off over the cliff. You know, not paying enough attention to your image and what your actions are doing are impacting the Emperor. And you could just walk off a cliff because you're not being aware of what you're doing. Overarching energy is the Knight of Pentacles. Right now, I think the Trump administration is assessing if this guy's really worth it. Is he bringing enough value to this? Lesson to be learned, the devil, you know what? He got the job because he was a Trump loyalist. He's still in the job because he's a Trump loyalist. But Trump only worries about Trump. He worries about his own star. He doesn't give a crap about anybody else. And you change yourself to this. It's the same way. Trump put this guy in because he was a loyalist. And his actions are going to impact you. Outcome is the Five of Wands, the Hillbilly Brawl card. Chaos and more upheaval. I would say, based on this, that Kash's tenure is going to be short-lived. The Five of Wands, to me, it's, you know, part of it is just Trump's cabinet is just a shit show all the time. But it's, you know, the musical chairs has already started, right? Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel might be next. I always kind of thought it'd be Hegseth, but we'll see. If things keep going south in Iran, Hegseth will be definitely on the chopping block, as it were. All right, so let's take one quick look. What's Trump's administration going to look like over the next few weeks? Are we going to see stability, or are we going to see upheaval? Let's just do a little quick forecast and wrap it up. I hope you're all having a good day. It's beautiful weather out today. Laura and I are going to be going to we're going to London later this week. Whenever there's when someone unalives themselves, they do an inquest. It's an investigation into what kind of led up to the events that took place, and sort of evidence that they gathered, and so the results of the inquest are being shared on the end of this week. So Laura and I are going to be out in London in support of her sister, because her sister's daughter last summer decided that life was too hard. So let's take a look at Trump's administration over the next few weeks. Are we going to see stability, or are we going to see more turnover? Page of Wands, new messaging coming out. Secrets that are being kept. Lots of actions that are going to be taken to... There's the Empress. The Empress is kind of like taking care of those around you. Kind of a motherly card. I mean, the Queen of Wands is kind of a motherly card. A lot of motherly cards. And reaping what you sow. Oh, are we going to see turnover? They're certainly going to be busy. I think what's going to happen is they're going to be so caught up. I don't think you're going to see personnel changes per se. I think right now Trump's really got his hands full with Iran, between working with Israel and trying to negotiate with Iran, and his mental health issues are going to be taking up too much of his time for him to worry about some of this stuff. He doesn't like the optics, but I think right now he's spread too thin. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Anyways, that's all I got for you. I hope you will enjoy your Monday, because this is coming out midnight Pacific time. Much love to the Insomnia Club, and a card for the rest of us. Yes, we've got the Eight of Cups there. That's the whole emotional walking away. Try not to... Don't let them give you that energy, that emotional energy, the chaos and the kind of the... I don't want to use the word hatred, but the intolerance and the nastiness. Just walk away from it. Don't accept that gift. Walk away from that gift. Let them keep it. Let them deal with the emotions that they don't like. We're better if we just ignore them. So have a great day, folks. Take care.